Good evening, guys. Hello. Welcome to evening yoga, quarantine yoga, session 14. Quarantine day, who knows? Who knows how long we've been around here? I think we all started quarantine different days. So if you're hopping in, let me know which day this is for you. Maybe you're finding this on YouTube later. So welcome to Cooped Up Inside Your Home Yoga. Kello and I got tons of sun today, hence my sun-kissed face and burnt lips. That always happens on the first sunny day. So if you didn't get the memo, tonight is like restorative to the max. So go ahead and get your pillows. Go ahead and get several blankets. If you have bolsters, yoga blocks, get those. But we want to have, like blankets for most people are not firm. You know, you could get a couch cushion, which is pretty firm. They're just a little thick. So I'd rather kind of big body pillows or, 3 bed pillows. Or you can do like 4 or 6 couch cushions, blankets. So go ahead and get those props. We'll probably not use the chair tonight just in case people don't have that easily accessible. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and take one more minute to get your stuff and settle in and be prepared to chillax. Okay. So I have like my big comfy warm socks on, even though it was really warm and sunny today. I had all my windows open and to get some fresh air in, and it got pretty cold in here. So we're going to start seated, okay? So after you got your props, just kind of have them, doesn't matter where, just have them off to the side. Go ahead and come seated. Now, just to start, sometimes just to start, I just like a little bit of lift under my bum, under my hips, and all that does is kind of keep the natural curve in my low back, right? Because otherwise, when you sit, it's nice to sit tall and your spine does that natural S curve, but sometimes it overstretches for people, right? Especially if you do sit all day and you don't kind of give yourself that natural curve. It's nice to sit up on something, a little something, okay? So that's where we're going to start for our restorative, and we're pretty much just going to stay down on the ground tonight. So hopefully that sounds luscious to you, and you could use just some melting, okay? We'll call it yoga melt. And as you sit in that comfy position, we're just going to take our seat, right? We're just arriving in the space. Inhale. And exhale. Let the hands do whatever feels good to relax the shoulders, okay? This week we have done a little bit of Nadi Shodhana. So all that meant was we're closing off one nostril, breathing into one side. Closing off that nostril, breathing out the other side. Breathing in that nostril. Breathing out the other side. Right, so I didn't give you a prep for that. I'm just going to turn down my ringer. But if that, excuse my hand for a moment. Can you read my phone? If that practice feels good to you or felt good to you, you can surely do that. It's a hugely practical one for really stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the mind calm. But what we're going to do today is start to just do these breaths. You can follow me, where you start to breathe in about a count of 3, nothing huge. Hold it at the top. And then as you exhale, you're going to exhale for 4 breaths. So 1 breath more. And hold that. You'll feel the navel come into the spine. Hold it empty. As you inhale, drink it in again. Maybe 3, maybe 4 this time. Hold that in. Exhale 5, right? 1 more extra than what you inhaled. And then hold it at the bottom. Drink it in again. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. You inhale. Hold it at the top. Hold it full. Exhale 1 breath longer. So I want you to go at your own pace here. I'm comfortable with a 5 breath in, 5 count. Hold it for a long breath. And then exhale completely. 1 breath longer, or 1 count longer than when you breathed in. And hold the spine toward, or the belly toward the spine. Do this about 5 more breaths on your own, right? Inhale. So if you've lost track or you're just coming in, we're inhaling to a count that feels comfortable to you, maybe 3, 4, 5. Holding it at the top. Exhale. The same amount, just 1 breath longer, 1 count longer, holding it in. When you exhale completely, just make sure to hold it out, like keep that breath out, pull the belly in, hold it, let it boomerang back in. Good. And start to relax, start to just breathe normally. Good. And as you inhale, we're going to start to grab some props, and we're going to stay in the same position except widen the hips and bring the feet together for Baddha Konasana just to start, right? So it'll be our first little hip opener. So you might grab a blanket under each leg. You guys, you can even grab towels, hats, coats, doesn't really matter, whatever you have on hand. I just really, there's some restorative practices you can do without props. But I really enjoy just teaching you what you can do with props at home. Okay, so I'm just scooching back so you can see me, but my bum is tilted forward, my hips are tilted forward on a little blanket, right? And then my knees are just being supported as my feet with my big socks are totally together in Baddha Konasana. Okay, and again, let me just pour this down because I am not getting off my butt in this practice today, right? So here, I want you to bring the socks, because they're so big, the feet forward, okay? Any amount that like takes some pressure off the back, okay? So you're gonna really come forward. You don't have to like be a hero in your own practice and pull those feet forward. You're just gonna kind of let them hang. Get that curve in the low back, right? And here, I want you to actually see if you can touch the inner part of the feet with the thumbs. Now, what I had written, I don't know if I wrote it in this, but I will. The oils that we're using today, so those of you who use essential oils, I'm diffusing sandalwood and anchor. Now, anchor is a part of our yoga collection. So The yoga collection has Arise, Align, and Anchor. They're so delicious. They're such glorious blends for your yoga practice. And Anchor is just that. It's just really got all these oils that help to anchor and ground. And then sandalwood is just this blissful oil that I use in my meditations a lot, right? And so what I'm going to do is actually take the Clary Calm. So Clary Calm is a blend for women, monthly blend for women. So ladies, it actually helps to regulate the symptoms of hormones and regulate hormones in the body. And so what I love to do with this is not only put it all over my abdomen during that time of the month, but also just rub it on the spine reflex point on my feet, which is the arches. So I'll just put a little oil there. Those of you who don't have it, don't worry. I'll put a link here for you. But now I have this awesome oil all over my feet, and these are where the reflex points are for the whole body, and the arches are specifically for the spine. And I'll just rub them all over. The toes are where the reflex points for the sinuses. The big toe is actually the brain. And so I'll just rub them all over the feet. And you want to really give yourself some self-care. It's okay if you haven't showered yet. You just need these in your life. And if you don't have them, you're just going to rub anyway, because you're also stimulating all the organs. You're stimulating the body in terms of this massage, right? I actually go to an acupuncturist, and what he does is I think it's only on one of my feet, but he slaps it, and so he's stimulating all those points in my feet, right? Just gonna even out here. But when you give yourself a nice little foot massage with essential oils, guys, especially with this Clary Calm, oh my gosh, you will sleep well. Go ahead now, find some calm. You're going to bring your hands to your ankles and just hold it there. So you're actually using it as an anchor to kind of lift yourself up and back, okay? Breathe in here, especially if you smell those oils. You just come right through your olfactory system into your limbic brain. Rub it on my third eye a little. Take some deep breaths here. Take those same deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Even if you don't have the essential oils in your life, you're just going to breathe in deep, right? And every exhale, you're going to relax the shoulders. Good. Just two more. Good. Inhale. And as you exhale, guys, start to lean the hands back. So palms forward. Lift the knees back up. You're going to scooch the feet out to wide and just rock side to side. Okay? Now, as you rock side to side, go ahead, rock over to one side. Remove those blocks. Remove the props, rather. I'm going to put my comfy socks back on. Now that I got my oils all up in my bloodstream, get them all up in that. And then I'm going to use my bolster. So if you have a bolster, you can use it, but I'll show you real quick without it. I'm actually going to put my less comfy pillows on the bottom. Okay, and then my comfy pillows on top. And you want to kind of make it be even, okay? And what I'm doing, the position that I'm sitting in right now is the same position that we're going to be in. So I'm going to show you this first, and then if you need some extra love for under the knees, I'll show you that too. So I'm just going to take one of my blankets and make sure it's nice and even, okay? And I'm actually going to fold it a long way, fold it in half, and then fold it so that it ends up being kind of a longer way, right? And again, if you have any back injuries or you don't want to come down super low, you're just going to keep stacking it up as high as you need to for comfort, okay? And you're just going to keep on stacking it. Now, the bolster is nice, by the way. You can just look these up, like yoga bolster, and get them on different yoga places in Amazon. I have a couple of them. They're so nice to even, I have a friend who like sleeps with one because she puts it underneath her knees, you know. So you're gonna we're doing a wide-legged child's pose, right? So my knees are wide, the feet are kind of tucked in, and we're just gonna come on down, and we're just gonna hug to one side. I just need a little more support for my back. So I'm just going to lay this right on top and get it nice and cozy and high. Okay, so we're going to be here for a while. And go ahead and keep getting set up. I just wanted to put on some music so that in between you can hear something. Turn it up in a second. Right, so this is, check out my cozy tower here. So I hope you guys are getting comfy. Now, if you don't have any props, this is crazy, right? If you don't have any props, you're just going to come into a wide-legged child's pose, and you're just going to sit there. So if you really are, you know, comfy enough, just in your wide-legged child's pose like we do, and just let your head come forward, then go ahead and just do that. You don't need props. Props are just much more helpful. Okay, so we're going to be here for about 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half. Okay, just on one side. And then we're going to switch our head to the other side, okay? So let it come in, and then let yourself really drape, like you want to come in pretty close to the body. And then as you exhale, over to one side, okay? So you guys just think about your day if it was calm. I'm going to think about the sunshine. And if not, we just melt into our pillows, okay? Oh, my back is cracking already. Let gravity just take you here. Relax everything down. I want you to say to yourself, I am peace, or I am calm. Just let everything go, even if you're holding on to any tension right now that you can feel in your back or in your hands or in your face. Just keep releasing it. Keep letting your head be extra heavy. And then chances are you've turned to the side of the body that is easier, right? Your head is easier turned that way. We're going to actually turn to the other side now. So go ahead and turn to the opposite side. And if it's a little harder, you're just going to really breathe into it. And again, let go even more so. Okay, so go ahead and turn. Relax everything down. Let gravity do its job. As you inhale, come all the way back up. You're going to exhale. If it's as high as mine is, you're going to take off a layer. But it might still be fine because we're kind of going to come in to a similar position, but we're going to release that pressure off the knees. Oh, and I'm sorry, I did not tell you that if you do have knee problems, if we do something like that again, you're actually going to just put the blanket under. So I'm sorry if that was not the best for your knees. You're just going to put a double up under your knees. Hopefully you figured that out if it was painful. So what we're going to do here now is keep the same bolster setup, but we're actually going to come kind of sideways to it. So my left hip is going to come a little much closer to the bolster. And from here, we're going to actually, release. You're going to sit down. Instead of on hero, you're going to release to your bum, okay? So as you release to your bum and you have the knees and feet just kind of off to the side, you're going to start to turn your torso so it's face down. But this is actually, I'm going to keep it pretty lifted. And again, it's just because of my back injuries. You don't need it as lifted. So from here, and I always like to have that folded part near me. From here, you're going to kind of twist the torso so it's face down. And again, you're facing the same way as the knees are facing to start. Okay, so go ahead and just face that way. We're just going to hang out here, kind of let the hands just relax. Right, so take about a minute and a half here. Now, if you'd like a little extra twist, you can actually turn your head to the opposite side. So you're going to keep your body the same. You're just going to turn your head to the opposite side. Okay, so if you want that deeper twist, go for that, and I'll let you know when to release, or you can just stay here and enjoy this subtle twist on this side. Close the eyes. Again, if you're smelling aromatic essential oils, just really breathe deeply, and even if you're not, you start to stimulate a little bit the parasympathetic nervous system, but then breathe with a relaxed breath. Relax the head, relax the head. And then if your head is turned the opposite way for that twist, go ahead and come back to center. You're going to push yourself up slowly. Okay. And from here, we're actually going to scooch our hips. And we're going to turn backwards so that the bolsters and pillows and props are behind us. And then you're just going to swing those knees side to side and swing them to the other side. Now make sure the hips are a little bit behind the bolster, because what we're going to do is make sure that our torso is coming straight down onto the props, right? So the hips can be behind a little so that you really scooch yourself really close, and that the head comes all the way down and turns towards the side that your knees are. Okay, where's my hand? That way. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll give you the cue to turn them back if you want to deepen the twist, okay? If you haven't already, and if you'd like to twist your upper body, your head to the opposite side, so it's a deeper twist, go for that. Otherwise, just stay in that first position. About 30, 40 more seconds. And as you inhale, start to roll all the way up, turn backwards again. And just swing the hips one more time, left and right. Okay, we're going to change it up just a little bit. So go ahead and start to peel off those layers, bring them over to the side. Now here, we're actually going to, I'm just going to change it so you can see me from the front. This is actually an intense restorative, I'd say, for the shoulders because it's very intentional. So we want to prop up similarly. So what you're going to do if you had it the long way, you're going to move it the sideways way. Okay, so if my mat was straight here, I'm going to move it the sideways way. See if you can see me. And then I'm going to prop it up, not too much because I'll show you what we're going to do. We're actually going to bring our chest over. And this is actually a pretty intense shoulder stretch. So we're bringing one shoulder underneath and the other shoulder underneath. And then we're going to drop our head. So I might actually use another pillow or a block and drop my forehead on that. And so what I'm doing is taking my shoulders and threading them through, right, to either side, and then dropping my head down. So let me just see. So the height of the bolster and the props, so take a minute to get into it. The height of the bolster and the props depends on how tight your shoulders are actually, okay? So if I was going to take these pillows on the bottom away, it might be more of an intense stretch, but it might be better for you. So take a minute before we kind of settle in and just decide, right? So the bolster actually comes, I don't want my chest to be crushed. I'm stretching, and then we're going to do the opposite side, right? So I'm stretching one arm through, one arm is in front, and one arm is behind. And I like to have, like I said, something under my head. So go ahead and grab a couple pillows or stack up a blanket pretty tightly, and then let the head rest. So try to find some comfort in this. It's an intense stretch, but it should relax eventually. Okay, we'll be here about 2 minutes, and then we're going to switch sides. Once again, just keep breathing, letting everything relax, letting the neck relax, letting the head relax. Let gravity do its job here. As you root down through the elbows, start to come up, just move one elbow in front of the other, the opposite one. Go ahead, stretch it through to each side, relax the head, let gravity do its job. We'll be here for about another minute and a half. And then root down through the elbows, start to lift up with support under your elbows, root down to lift all the way up. Good. We're going to exhale, bring the prop back to where it was the first time. And now this what I like to do here is bring a couple pillows underneath the upper part of the blankets, the bolster, whatever you have. If I was going to get real intense about it, I would put a block underneath the upper part and let a couple blocks be under there. But you can take, put 2 pillows or blankets on the upper part. Maybe blankets if you don't have a bolster at home. So maybe blankets under there. Or another yoga mat, right? And then this is going to be the most sturdy pillows that you have. So this actually could be a couch cushion. Okay, so it's a little firm. And we want to actually, be able to just rest on either side of it. Now, as we come down, you're going to have either a pillow on either side or a blanket on either side, okay? So that when we come into Supta Baddha Konasana, your hips are supported, okay? So here, you're going to come and bring your bum against the back. And again, I'm just going to scooch the pillow in a little bit so it's nice and even. And my knees are under 2 pillows. My feet are going to come together, so flat together. The blanket straight up is to cover me, right? So get as many props under the back here, right? Or the knees that you need. So if you want to be propped up more here under the back, you need to get a lot more props back there, right? And if you need more props under the knees, just take a minute and set all that up. Okay. And then when you're ready, you start to just kind of fold down, melt down. Let the head be supported. So if your head feels like it's falling way back, get a couple more pillows. You might even put one right under the top of you like that, okay? Your neck, whatever needs to be supported. The idea here is to just let gravity do its thing. Now, if your elbows don't easily relax all the way down to the ground, you might bring props under that as well, or just bring, some of these up. So go ahead and get comfy here. You're just going to let yourself, hands come up, hands can be on the belly, hands can be out to the sides. Okay, this one's a little longer one because we're not switching from side to side. So we're going to do about 4 or so minutes here. Okay, so take your time. Let the breath come into the belly. You can even exhale out the mouth. Everything thought that comes up, note that you had it. Don't beat yourself up for having the thought. Just note it was a thought. Don't let it continue into different stories. Just label it thinking or label it thought and continue to focus on the breath or to focus on the sunshine, to focus on the good. See you in a few minutes. Take that last little bit of any tension or any tightness that you feel in the body that just doesn't seem to want to let go. Breathe into that area. Send the breath there. And then exhale. Sigh it out. And then from here, you're going to just turn to one side. You're just going to kind of roll over to one side. Push yourself up. I know you don't want to move. Move the props out of the way. You're going to take the set of blankets or pillows and bring them down towards the bottom third of your mat. Okay, so pillows, bring blankets on top of them. Blankets on top of them. Just see how much you need. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one more short thing, and then we're going to land here for Shavasana. So what I wanted to do real quick, actually, I might not have enough room here. I want to just have you lie down flat for a moment and bring the knees together. So all we're going to do is lie flat, let the arms come down, and bring the knees together. Because what happens is when we were in that Supta Baddha Konasana, the hips splay out, okay? So there is stretching that happens in the front of the hip flexors, and there is opening that happens in the hips. But one thing that does happen is the sacrum comes together. So even though it is, in a way, stretching for the sacrum, it actually ultimately brings the back of the hips together. And what that can do for some people is if they have any pinching in the back, it can bring it tighter, pinch it more a little bit. Just depends on what you have going on. So if that happened at all, I always like to do this counter stretch, which is the opposite. So the hips get wide, the feet get wide, the knees come together. Okay? And you open up into a cactus pose, or the hands can come down wide. Whatever it feels good in the upper body is fine. And then just about a minute more here. Okay, so we just want to do that little counter stretch. Again, slow breaths into the belly. And then finally, rock your head side to side. If you have any tightness in the shoulders, here is the moment to start to do some neck massages or shoulder massages. So I like to take the knuckle of my thumb, okay, and just kind of dig it into that fleshy, muscly, between the neck and the shoulders. And just really give myself a nice little dig in there. And when you're ready, you can roll over to one side. Now, you might have noticed if you were, having blankets all over you, that your mat probably got a little cold. So I like to do the last posture with a thin blanket underneath me, or thick, whatever you like. Just drape it over the entire mat. And then bring your bolster or your blankets or your pillows and then your blankets over here. So this is where you're going to be right underneath your knees. Now, I usually like to have my head pretty flat in Shavasana, but for restorative sake, you might bring a flat pillow and then definitely grab a blanket to bring over you. Okay? So here again, we're just going to be about 4 minutes, okay? So go ahead and come all the way down. Let the knees come right on top of that bolster, okay? If the blanket can cover you all the way, fine. If not, see what you want to be hanging out in your big socks on your feet, maybe. Okay, so go ahead and once you're down in Shavasana, let the feet just windshield wipe back and forth. Let the knees be supported. Let the back be flat for a moment. And just breathe in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Do this 2 or 3 times. And then let everything relax. Put a smile on your face to remind yourself that even in times of stress and worry and anxiety, we do all we can during the day, but it's time to let go of control at night. bodhisattva. Deepen your breath. You might just sleep here tonight, that's fine. Deepen the breath and start to make subtle movements if you wish to awaken. And as you deepen the breath again, let the knees fall into the chest and just roll over to one side. And here tonight, really rest there on one side in that fetal position. Let the hands come underneath your head as you extend one behind you. Rest here for a moment, smiling again, and just saying to yourself, I release all control. I do the best I can, and I release all control. As you root down, lift all the way up to seated, eyes closed, hands together at the heart. We'll bring our voices together or just listen. Let's inhale deeply into the belly. I love to set goals. I love to make a plan. But the thing we have to relinquish are the outcomes. We can't be so attached to the outcomes that is what controls our emotions, right? We have to be so strong in our spiritual practice, in our yoga practice, in any faith practice, that we don't get our emotions out of control when the outcomes aren't exactly as we predicted, right? Because I could say spirit has the biggest hand in that. So thank you guys so much for coming to Restorative Yoga. If you are following this in sequence, tomorrow we will be doing family yoga in the morning. So if you need something more rigorous, definitely check out a different video, because my little one is coming with me. He's going to boss me around into different yoga poses. So thank you guys so much for your community, for your support. And I appreciate you just being here and hoping this helps with your community during quarantine. So happy quarantine yoga, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.